Okay, Father Biller here. Welcome back to the Nerd Father. As I'm going live, I am trying to make sure that my microphone is all set up because I just noticed with like 30 seconds to go before live, the Yeti was unplugged. So hopefully everybody can hear me. But yeah, so this is Sunday Night Live. The first time in about 2 weeks I've been able to do this. Last week we had a parish picnic, and the week before that we had a Knights of Columbus dinner. So it's nice. Usually Sundays has been the time when I can do a lot of streaming, mostly because it's the end of the week for me. But no, I'm not complaining. I'm very happy. Well, at least on that part. The unhappy part now comes to Rings of Power, which, oh good, I'm able to be heard. So yeah, I watched it. I really didn't care for it. Basically, the way I describe it, I'm looking for the clip.
It stinks.
That basically sums up what I think of it. Um, I got like a bunch of different little things I want to go over tonight. But I love how Amazon has suspended the Rings of Power user rating after review bombing occurs. So I watched the first 2 episodes over Thursday night, Friday morning. I was pretty tired when I saw the first episode. I thought it was going to put me to sleep. Went to bed, wasn't able to sleep. But anyway, on Friday, throughout the day, before class, after class, I had to break up the second episode. I'll be honest, I really do not know much about the appendix of Lord of the Rings, which is from what I guess is this thing is based on. But anyway, Amazon has stopped, as of Friday, they have stopped allowing people to review it because people are giving it a bomb. So this is from the Hollywood Reporter. Reviews are being held for 72 hours to weed out trolls. Racists have criticized the series' diverse casting. I really wouldn't probably be critical of that if they weren't harping on it, if they were not touting how diverse this is. I mean, I remember as a kid of the 90s noticing the textbooks were starting to be a little bit more diverse, but no, this promotion has really been in your face type of with the diversity and everything. As it says here, the Rings of Power currently has a 34% average on Rotten Tomatoes compared to an 87% critic score. Yeah, you see, I don't believe it. Here we go. This is the other one. Recently, Disney Marvel She-Hulk was confirmed to have been reviewed bomb on Rotten Tomatoes with an 88% critical score compared to the 36 audience score. Well, the thing that always drives me nuts about this, and I'm trying to find, I got the links here. Everybody's talking about how it's been reviewed bomb. Well, the opposite is true as well. This is the IMDb page ratings for Rings of Power. So it looks like there's been over 20,927 one-star reviews, but they never talk about like the 27,687 positive 10-star reviews. So I don't get it. I mean, and if you go onto Amazon's Facebook page for Rings of Power, it's nothing but unadulterated praise for it. There's hardly anything critical of it. So yeah, I really don't think it is a 1-star, but I know it's definitely not a 10-star. My initial thoughts were that the scenery is pretty, but the only character I really enjoyed of the whole thing so far is the Dwarf King. I mean, I really enjoy his jolliness. Disa, the big wife, was not as offensive as I thought she was going to be, even though she's been the one promoting the first Dwarf of Color spiel on in the promotional videos things and all that. So yeah, let's look at this. Like I said, I'm still trying to see how this comes up on the screen here. So Rings of Power has had a 32% 10-star rating, a 10% 9-star rating, 10% 8-star rating. Basically, the mean is about a 6.3, which I actually would consider to be more accurate. Let's see, what does this say here? I never noticed this before. The ratings by demographics. So all ages gave it at least a 6.7. So there's looks like 74 ratings between those of under 18, and they gave it a 7. 18 to 29 gave it a 6.8. 45 plus, which I'm part of, gave it a 6.5. Of that, being the 45 plus male, I would fall into the 6.4 category. Yeah, so I mean, but again, this is the other thing too. They keep talking about She-Hulk and how that's been getting reviewed bomb. Well, let's look at the ratings for She-Hulk as well. I'm just flipping between this. So this is the IMDb page for She-Hulk Attorney at Law. You have 37.9, 38% 1-star ratings, so about 28,000. But look at this, 20%, so 14,500 gave it a 10-star. So the mean is about 4.8, which, yeah, I would give it that. I watched the first 2 episodes of She-Hulk. I really did not care for it. And that brings me up to the one of the links I was going to share from Porter Black Garrett. Let's see, where is that? So, oh, there it is. So this is from Porter Black Garrett. Oops, almost did the wrong share screen here.
I hear it said that when you cross over, you hear a song, one whose memory we all carry.
Eat it up, go play okay, 3, 2, 1. You know I'm the hottest, you ain't never gotta heat me up. I'm prison when I'm absent.
You are immersed in a light more intoxicating than any sensation in all of Middle Earth.
I'm dumbfounded at this. The observation I made on Twitter earlier this week or a few days ago was we're not supposed to objectify women, but look at me as I jiggle myself. Part of the reason I really am not into the Rings of Power is, yeah, it's based on Tolkien. And as I said, my original review was I went into Fellowship of the Rings. It was 2001 when it first came out. I honestly did not know much about Tolkien. I didn't know that it was going to be a trilogy of films. I didn't even know it was a trilogy of books. It was just a bunch of young people from my parish, my age, going to see the new movie. And I tell you, I got hooked on it. I went out and I ended up buying the book, and this is the book I got 21 years ago. It is it's the original motion picture thing, now an epic motion picture trilogy. I loved it. I've read this book I don't know how many times. Now that it's on Audible, I have both versions, the original audiobook version of the trilogy and the recently released Andy Serkis version. But so supposedly Rings of Power is supposed to be based on the appendix and the Silmarillion. I'll be honest, I never really got through it. As you can see, it's a bunch of dates and stuff. But in the back of it, okay, so there are family trees in this. Well, that's not showing up. So the Baggins of Hobbiton. That's the other thing. The hobbits in this one look horrible. I mean, they really look like they're dirty hippies dirty homeless hippies from a commune in the 60s. So, oh, that's neat. I guess, like I said, I really haven't sat down and read it, but they got the whole language in it. I mean, the thing is, Tolkien was a devout Catholic. Lord of the Rings has so much Catholic symbolism. It is an integral part of the trilogy. And Rings of Power has none of that. Now, the best example I use is the Lembras bread that the elves give to the hobbits as they're going off, the bread for the journey, which is an analogy of the Eucharist, the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Christ. It's not the same thing, but it's kind of similar. Just as Gandalf is an image of Christ, and Galadriel is kind of like the Virgin Mary in a way. It's not saying that she is the Virgin Mary, that she's the mother of God in this thing, mother of Gandalf. And Gandalf calls it an asteroid. So Scott Hahn shared an article today I wanted to bring up. Here we go. This is from Hearth and Field, which I'll be honest, I had never heard of till recently. Just checking. And as we do that, let's see, we got Miss Martin in the chat. Good to see you. Sorry you couldn't make it tonight. Chrisanath, good to see you. And we got Paolo. I hope I got that right. That Italian guy. Evening. So here we go. This is an article that Scott Hahn shared on Facebook. Amazon, Tolkien, and the American technocracy. Not a word I use a lot. But let's look at it. It's a little bit of a long article, but it really is worth it. It does talk about how rare it is for a television series to generate so much controversy as Amazon's Lord of the Rings: Rings of Power. The trailer became the subject of white-hot internet controversy within days of its release, pitting devotees of Tolkien against defenders of Amazon. Each side scored its victories. On the one hand, the American version of the trailer was disliked millions of times on YouTube, and video essays criticizing the project accumulated hundreds of thousands of views. On the other, prestigious media outlets as The Atlantic characterized critics of the show as racist and fretted about the impact of toxic fans. Anyway, Amazon has spent $1 billion on this. So, as the article says, for all its heat, however, the Rings of Power controversy has generated surprisingly little light, as neither the show's critics nor its defenders has shown that they possess any clear sense of what Tolkien's work is actually about. Or perhaps not so surprising. And that's the thing. Again, Tolkien is a devout Catholic. His faith played a major role into writing Lord of the Rings. And as the article says, the simple truth is this: never has society been so ill-disposed to receive Tolkien's vision as 21st century America, and never has a company been so poorly qualified to safeguard Tolkien's legacy as Amazon Studios. Quite the opposite is true. Our modern technocratic society are very nearly the picture of Tolkien evil. I'm going to put this article in the chat for those that want to follow along with it. It's really, I think it's a really good article. I haven't read it the whole thing yet, but that's the key. You have to understand Catholicism to get to the heart of Tolkien. Doesn't mean you have to be a Catholic scholar, but I mean to know about the man himself. This is admittedly a sweeping statement that requires some justification, but in attempting to connect Tolkien's idea of evil with contemporary American society, we run into a snag. Evil is difficult to define, and as Gandalf reminds us, it is perilous to study the arts of the enemy too deeply for good or for ill. The Augustinian Tolkien recognized that evil is a privation. It has no positive being of its own, Because of this, if we seek to explore Tolkien's idea of evil, we must first attempt to understand his vision of the good. And again, that is the key to understanding Tolkien. Again, his faith, his morality. As it says, as Tolkien bluntly stated in his letters, and as any careful reading of his magnum opus will make clear, The Lord of the Rings is of course, a fundamentally religious and Catholic work. Tolkien's faith provides a central metaphysical truth in his world, namely that God alone exists necessarily, and everything else exists because he in love wills that it should. Tolkien understood that everything we have, not only our own possessions, but even our talents and temperament and existence, is a gift from the Creator. So, I have never read the Silmarillion. I really have had a hard time understanding it, but I guess it's talking about the gift in it. I'm just looking at it, and your cake and eating it too. Welcome. Only Aquinas could understand Tolkien's work. I don't know about that. I mean, one of my favorite Tolkien scholars is Joseph Pearce, English scholar. I had a chance to see him a number of years ago in Philadelphia. He gave a talk down the street from our seminary, Tales and Ales, talking about C.S. Lewis, Tolkien, their friendship, their writings, and they tied it in with English beer. It was great. But yeah, so where elves are given the gift of immortal life on earth, man was made to pass beyond the bounds of this world into the embrace of the Father. But all rational creatures are restless until they rest in God, and death is the means by which this happens. For this reason, the elves, despite their longevity and their greater natural happiness, envied mortals their death, calling it the gift of men. And again, that's the thing that just blew my mind in the first episode. I mean, Gladiel, I guess, is going into the West like they did at the end of Return of the King, and she jumps out of the boat because I guess she wants revenge against whoever killed her brother. Anyway, the first fundamental obligation is to gratitude. We must give God thanks for the gifts that he has given us. Here it is surely significant that the single overt religious observance in all Lord of the Rings is Faramir's Thanksgiving before his evening meal. That part I don't remember, but it makes sense. When we search more deeply in Tolkien's fiction, however, we find that this Thanksgiving is everywhere. So the Feast of Thanksgiving is the great festival among the elves, among the men in Numenor. Even the Hobbit's famous giving of birthday gifts springs from a natural religious disposition towards gratitude. Yeah. So again, you have to understand Tolkien the man to be able to understand Lord of the Rings, and that's something Amazon has not done. So anyway, the link is in the article. The link is in the chat. I just kind of want to move on just because it is a long article. I don't really want to spend the whole time doing it, but I do want to share a video that the Babylon Bee did perfectly. Here we go. I may bring this up. It's a little clip. Hopefully it will not get struck. Oops, wrong window. Here we go. I know I have shared this on Twitter. Here we go. Love the squirrel.
Wait! Fair elf maiden, I assure you, I have no quarrel with you. What is an elf maiden doing so far from home? Who are you, daughter of Valinor, of such beauty?
I am Gwenriel of Eregion. My pronouns are she, her. And who are you?
I am Glabba.
And what of your pronouns?
What's a pronoun?
Never mind. My pronouns are she, her. I am standing on the stolen land of the indigenous orc peoples, and I am wearing a green cloak.
Yes, I can see that. I'm standing right here.
It's for the blind.
If they're blind, why do they need to know that you're wearing a green cloak?
Okay, here we go. Ableism and mansplaining. You Numenorians are so privileged, what with your patriarchal society.
If I may.
Excuse me, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. You have no idea what I have to go through on a daily basis. Men catcalling me, assuming that I can't fight because I'm a tiny woman half their size, and don't even get me started on the man spreading within the elvish community.
My lady, look out! Fairest maiden of the Elven realm, I swear that no harm will come to you as long as I live.
You killed they!
Well, yeah. He was an orc. They are the bad guys, you know.
You assume that they're the bad guys because of your internalized colonialist presumptions. They're actually an oppressed, marginalized group that has been driven out by ethnocentric, xenophobic Numenorians.
Another orc approaches.
Got a little Monty Python
Should I kill
feeling
it?
going there.
No! That's punching down. Just apologize. Tell him that you're listening and you're willing to learn about the orc community.
What does that even mean?
Tell him you see him, you hear him, you celebrate him.
Will that stop him from trying to kill me?
No, but it will help with your Numenorian guilt.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys! He's heavily implying he's going to eat me!
Don't mock ethnic food choices.
He's not a racial minority! He's a hideous orc!
Really? Body shaming now?
I come back to you now, at the turn of the tide.
It must be some wizard sent here to Middle-earth to help us.
Say what? No, I'm Kamula, Princess of Khazad-dûm. And I'm way more oppressed than that dumb orc. So you know, I'm allowed to kill these fools. Intersectionality, baby. Woo woo! A great evil approaches. I can smell it.
Oh, hey, howdy. I'm in a little bit of a pickle. I think I just got turned around coming over the Misty Mountains cold. Whew. And hoping you can give me some direction.
Yeah, so some comedy gold from the Babylon Bee. So yeah, I guess episode 2 comes out later, episode 3 comes out later this week. I'm not hooked on it. I mean, again, if it was based on Tolkien, and again, Tolkien's vision, his faith, his understanding of Catholicism, maybe I would get into Rings of Power. But this has more the feeling of the J.J. Abrams Star Trek Kelvin timeline rather than a continuation or a prequel of Tolkien's original trilogy. It just doesn't do it. So, but yeah, I think that's about all I have for really of Lord of the Rings or Rings of Power. I do need to let's see. I do have one other thing. I was going to do a palate cleanser I'm actually pretty excited. I almost forgot that this was coming out tonight. Let me bring this up. Here we go. Hopefully this will not get copyright struck. It's only a short video. Yeah, I will continue to watch it because I want to be able to explain why I think it's bad. So tonight is season 6 premiere of Rick and Morty. I've seen this already. I love the look of it. Anyway, that is the opening credits for Rick and Morty, which I gotta say, season 6, I've enjoyed it so far. I mean, the premiere comes out tonight, but I've enjoyed seasons 1 through 5. It is kind of messed up humor, but I do have a messed up sense of humor. So anyway, I hope all is well with everybody. I'm going to go live again tomorrow. Don't know what time, probably in the afternoon here in Central, in the Midwest, because it's Labor Day. We have no school. I have the 9 o'clock mass, and that's about it for the day. So I figure I'm going to try to get some of my Brit friends over and hopefully do a stream. Gotta say a shout out to Dan the Spacebrook. He finally crossed the 1,000 sub mark. So congrats to him. He's definitely earned it. I'm still trying to get watch time. I'm now at 1,080 something, I think it is. So I thank everybody who has subscribed. I just got to get more watch time, but we'll get there eventually. So, but yeah, other than that, I know that the Rabbi and I are doing a bi-weekly stream. No, I can't remember how to say it. I can't stream with him on Friday because I have the 8 o'clock mass this week, which is school mass, and my first class at our school is at 9:30. So that doesn't really give me much time to do a stream with the Rabbi and to get to school on time. So we're doing it every other week when I have the 6:30 mass, because we could do it at 7 in the morning. I can be done about 8, and then I can head off to school to get there for at least a class or two of prep before my teaching starts. So, but I am excited to be back in the classroom. I really am. So, but yeah. So again, I thank you for joining, and thank you for lasting this long. We'll go do it again soon. And yeah, I have much atonement to do for my sins. So I will consider watching Rings of Power as that. So till next time,